What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, I saw something, I think it was Sky Sports, where there's a picture of AJ, and AJ is saying that he's coming to the end of his career, and that by the time the next Olympics come, he'll be towards the end of his career, and the next group of fighters will be coming in to take over. And the funny thing is, AJ is realistic and very much attached to reality when he look at things and when he says certain things. There's things he said as far as him learning, like I said, that made people feel like he has a confidence issue. I don't think it's a confidence issue. I mean, for him to say sometime, like after the loss to Ruiz, he was saying, I question, like, am I good enough? Am I good enough to be here? I can understand why people would feel like that. I just feel like as a fighter, that's something you shouldn't say, you know, because if you actually have those issues where you're like, man, you're questioning yourself, that might make a fighter just push harder. Where maybe he might have kind of respected you and laid off more, trying to be careful himself, but they might think, you know what, man, this dude is soft inside it, because that's what the impression that a lot of people got about him. I didn't get an impression that AJ was soft. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He didn't do and accomplish what he did by luck. Okay, he went out there and worked his ass off and he got what he got. But when he's talking about, his career coming to an end, and people got to understand, I've been saying this for the longest, like, man, you have fighters that's in history right now, okay, in the history books right now, that, he was a great fighter. He was a great fighter. And these guys were considered washed up, some of them. A lot at 33, 34, some of them even 32. I remember when Muhammad Ali was fighting George Foreman. I remember one of the he was training, and the guy that was narrating the video was saying, "Can Muhammad Ali get his 32-year-old body in shape enough to beat George Foreman?" Damn, they make 32 sound like it's 82. So what I'm saying, even like with AJ, you guys like when you hear a fighter say, see, AJ will say, "I'm still learning." As long as you're lacing up the gloves, getting that ring, you're still learning. If you're no longer learning, you'll be figured out. It, Before, it doesn't even have to be a father time situation. But you know what happens when you realize I am still learning, right? It will allow you to adapt and adjust to doing things different and adding to your style, because certain things that may start to go away at a certain time, where okay, I'm not as fast as I used to be, or my reflex is not quite what they used to be, or I don't have the same pop on my punch right now, or whatever. I don't take a punch the way I used to, so I got to be more defensive and more smart with my attacks. Hey, I got to start throwing my shots at the middle instead of from the side. Things like that will help you adjust when you realize these things. I said this about the Charlos. I said this about because AJ was a champion and was getting his notoriety. The Charlos was champions, and people were still doubting. They're still trying to knock the Charlos, but they can't. No matter what they say. My thing is, I'm saying, damn. Back in the day, the Mike Tyson's, the Wilfredo Benitez's, 17 years old, winning his first world championship. The guy wasn't even fucking legal, man. He was 17. He was a world champion. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. These guys, early 20s. It's like now, and they were superstars. These guys were known. Now Floyd became more known after he beat De La Hoya, but he was, the whole thing. What I'm saying is, most of these guys now, by the time they start to get notoriety, they're already in their 30s. How much longer do you think these guys are going to fight after that? And the way things are going, even without COVID, people, it's like all these networks, and then you got these different sanctioning bodies, and all these, you got Matchroom, you got Golden Boy, you got all these different organizations, and it's like it's hard to just get these guys to fight. You got PBC, and it's like, so they're not benefiting the way they could, legacy wise. Financially, we see that empty arenas, and COVID got everything. COVID has a very nasty effect on everything right now. But these guys are fighting, And by the time we get to start to really see them start to get older, like I said, they're 30, 31, 32, like, damn, bro, like, you know, if you get a late start in boxing, that's understandable. But when you've been fighting and been a world champion already in your mid 20s, but now people are just starting to say, hey, he's one of the elite, and here you are, a world champion, but now 4 or 5 years later, now they start to give you a little of your just due. My whole thing is, once you get there, how long can you stay there? So AJ just being realistic, Now you hear certain fighters say they're gonna fight to their 40, to their 38. You don't know that. You plan on doing that. Hopefully, if your body holds up. Um, let's look at I know Tyson Fury said that one time, and then Tyson Fury said, several times he was contemplating retiring, 2 or 3 more fights, and then he's talking about retiring. Then one time he said he's going to fight. He's about 38 years old. Deontay said he's going to fight. He's 40. You know, you may plan it that way, but like I said, if your body holds up, um, a lot of guys are not that durable. You know, and you have some guys who can. But my thing is, like, right now, you know, it, there's no reason for these guys to not put the best fights on that they could possibly have, because let's be real, we don't know how long COVID is going to last. And these guys can all retire and sit back and think, damn, I really should have fought such and such. Damn, you know what? Now that I look at it, I wish me and this guy did fight. Just make the fights happen. Just do it, man. Go in there and make the fights happen. Like, I understand everybody wants to get paid properly, and I'm all for that. I would never tell somebody, oh man, forget the money. No, no. That's what you get compensated for, to go in there and fight and put your life on the line and fight. That's what fighters do. That's what it is, okay? So when people are saying, oh, this guy, he's ducking this guy, and it's like, I, you know, got back on the lab and I started seeing all of this same conversations. This guy's ducking this guy. This guy, he doesn't want it with this guy. This guy's running from this guy. Certain fighters do one thing, they get praised for it. Another fighter do the same thing, he gets crucified for it. So it's just the same things. So here's my thing. AJ's 30 now. Hopefully before AJ's career is over, that he actually can get in there and fight Tyson Fury. That the two people he needed to beat to really solidify his legacy, we know it's Fury. And if Wilder still has it, still can get in, you know, um, bottom line, he beats those two, nobody can say anything. They can make, and of course, there's always going to be excuses as to why he won if he does beat both of them. There's always going to be excuses. But bottom line, that's the silly side of it. But the record books will state he beat the two other top guys of his era. He's beaten Dillian White already. Dillian White getting knocked out by Povetkin is going to make a lot of people, just look at the situation. If he loses again, they're going to say Dillian White wasn't an elite fighter. They're going to say he was hyped up. You know, I give Dillian White his props as a fighter. Dillian White is a solid fighter. I just feel like most fighters talk too much. Put themselves in a position where they're talking about, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, then they go in there and lose, or they look stupid, make excuses as to why they lost. You just got your ass kicked. That's so simple. You got dropped or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I think, like with AJ, because people were saying, why would AJ say that? They're like, AJ, I don't know if he's starting to break down mentally. I don't know what it was, but I think he was just being realistic. I can't say what's in his head, but I think he was just being realistic. I mean, like, how you plan on fighting. It's like one day you're a kid and your parents are telling you, one day you'll be grown before you know it, man. But your parents made, like, they talk about something happened 10 years ago. They made 10 years sound like it was 100 years, right? And they'll tell you about how you'll be 18 before you know it. Then all of a sudden, one day, you're like, damn, I got kids. you know, I'm a father. I'm holding a house down and taking care of a family now. Like, wow, where did the time go? That's just the way it goes, man. That's life. A lot of times you can't see when a person tells you something, you don't see it right away. You can't see past what's in front of you at that time. But as you mature and you grow up, you realize, like, yeah, time doesn't wait for anybody, man. Hopefully AJ saying that will light a fire under one of their asses, Wilder, Fury, somebody worthy, and say, hey, man, let's make this happen. I see this. I didn't read it. I didn't listen to the video. I saw a tweet and then I saw a video, cover where it was saying somebody in Usyk's camp or somebody said if Usyk, if Anthony Joshua vacates his belt, it's only because he's scared of Usyk. And I'm saying, these people love to talk and run their mouth and basically talk about who's running from who and all whatever. But I think that's it being said because it's more like they don't want to see the Tyson Fury AJ fight. It's like, no, I want that fight, or I want to bring more attention to Usyk because if he vacates the belt, I'm pretty sure it'll be Usyk versus somebody for the vacated belt. I'm pretty sure that's how that's gonna go. First off, out of everybody in the heavyweight division, he's gonna be afraid of the smallest heavyweight that they have. Usyk can box, yeah, but so can AJ. And AJ is a big dude that can box. And all of this Super Saiyan powers that they have, like Usyk have, I like Usyk as a fighter. But look, Usyk is a man. He's a human being. He bleed. He hurt just like everybody else. He swell up. His bones break just like anybody else. All of that boogeyman bullshit. All of that. His skills is just phenomenal. He's just like such a no. He can box, but and stop with the exaggerating. Usyk is a good boxer, man. But Usyk, you know, he's a man just like AJ. So at the end of the day, I don't see all of this fear that people are talking about with certain fighters. They make it look like they're afraid of other fighters because they call names, and then nothing happens. But as far as him, I mean, come on, man. This guy has been in there with people taller than him, heavier than him, bigger than him, just as big as him. Hit just as hard as him. What the hell? Why the hell would he be afraid of all people, Usyk, who wasn't even a big puncher at cruiserweight? As a heavyweight, I can tell just watching it. It looked like his punches for Usyk to get you has to be an accumulation. He has more power as a cruiserweight, more effective power as a cruiserweight than he does as a heavyweight, because these guys are small guys, much smaller naturally. Um, they're not really heavyweights as far as fighting. Now, most cruiserweights probably walk around 200 pounds, maybe a little over, maybe a little bit over two. 205, something like that, 208, 210 maybe. But they don't fight at that weight. Usyk has fought at heavyweight before, but Usyk has never been a big puncher. He's always had to have an accumulation of shots. I honestly don't think he can beat AJ. I'm not even. There's nobody out there that I look at and feel like AJ can't beat them. Now, if it happens and he loses, then hey, I doubt very seriously that Usyk beats him out of all of those guys. Um, Andy Ruiz style gave him problems in the first fight, and you saw what he did in the rematch. And what I'm looking at right now, as far as who's who with AJ, he just got Pulev out the way. I said I would rather see him fight Usyk first, get him out the way. Now, whatever's going on between Fury and Wilder, because let me explain something to y'all. Nothing's etched in stone. And we can talk about we want the fight all we want. They can say they want the fight. But if this mediation thing, from what I understand, is still going on, I done seen false claims. Oh, Wilder's won the case. Wilder's won the case. Wilder's okay. Well, when is the fight then? Right? AJ will be putting himself on hold and doing a disservice to himself and to his fans. by sitting back just waiting to see what's going to happen with Fury. No, you've got Pulev out the way. Go get Usyk, beat him, get him out the way, and whatever is going on between Wilder and Fury. Now you don't have a mandatory. You don't have to worry about giving up your title. Now you can focus on Fury or whoever else it's going to be. But do I think that he should sit back and just fiddle his thumbs and wait to see what happens? Fuck no. Why would you do that? They're out here making their money. They're doing what they have to do. You're doing what you have to do. Your career shouldn't be put on hold because of that. And like you said, your career is coming, near the end, right? All these guys. Nobody stays. You don't stay young forever, man. I don't care how good you look, how young you look, how sharp you still are. At one point, it's going to be that one day where you're just not the same fighter anymore. You can beat the average motherfucker in the street with no problem. You go, or even fighters, lesser fighters, but you'll get to an age where it's like, okay, can't do it anymore. And regardless, the point is, why would you put your career on hold just for one fight? When he said that he think that the fight with Fury is bigger than Undisputed, I don't. He does, and he has his reasons, I guess, for saying it. But I don't think any one fighter is bigger than you being undisputed. You are the man. You have everything under your control. Everybody wants what you have. How is fighting him, right? Just to say I fought him bigger than undisputed? No. I think AJ would feel different if he didn't have his titles anymore and then somebody else became undisputed and everybody's trying to fight and he's trying to fight to get that spot back. Then it's like, damn. I think he'd see it different then. And because of COVID, the fight may not happen on British soil. I don't know where it's going to be. If it, I was hearing Saudi Arabia, first off over the UK. We know that that's a fight that the British fans definitely want on UK soil, and that's understandable. I just want the fight. I don't care if it's in China. I don't care if it's in Bucksnort, Tennessee. I don't care if it's in El Segundo. I don't care if it's 1616 Mockingbird Lane where the monsters used to live. I don't give a shit. I just want to see the fight. But understand, business has to be handled properly. This is not a street beef. This is not, oh, you just get a camera, get some guys in the backyard and let them box. No, this is not that, man. This is a business. You have to have things organized. It has to be right. Everything has to work out. And we understand that. So my whole thing about that is I just feel like he needs to handle his mandatories, get them out the way. Like I said, one down, one to go. Why give your title up just to fight this one guy? Now, he said he'll go back for the title but see, my thing is, we can sit here now and say, I think if this guy gets it or that guy gets it, that they'll fight AJ. Usyk might get the belt and say, hey man, this guy didn't even fight me. He gave the title up, so why the hell should I fight him right now? Hey Usyk, you need to make as much money as you can first, then go for undisputed. Who knows? We don't know that. And then now he gives up his WBO. He beats Fury. He gets the WBC, but he's still not undisputed. Now we still have one belt floating around with another guy, and we can't get undisputed. That could happen. Let's look. The whole thing is this, right? Why is he unified, not undisputed right now? Because he doesn't have the WBC. So now I'm going to give up the WBO so I can go and fight Fury. So it's not about undisputed. It's just about beating Fury. Now it's going to be a rematch clause. So now this is two fights. You think Usyk or whoever would have the WBO title is going to sit back and wait for AJ? No, they're going to go out here and see. People feel real different when they get in a different position. Let's just be real. So I don't think that AJ is showing weakness by saying that he's breaking down. I think AJ is just being realistic, man. Like, hey, man, all these guys. And here's the thing. It's worse for Usyk. It's worse for Wilder. Because those guys are like 35, 36. And Fury, 32, 33. So AJ's younger than all those guys. So, I mean, he still has more life left, in his body than them to be competitive, man, in the long run. And, if the fight with him doesn't happen, I already know he knocks out Wilder, the first thing people are going to say is, "Oh, he waited for Wilder to get old." All this bullshit. Um, you know, the same with Usyk. Oh man, he waited. He was scared to fight. It's always this. He was scared. This person was scared. Nonsense. But at the end of the day, listen. Let me put it to y'all like this: common sense and reality seem to just be apart with most of these people. We have all these trolls that jump on social media. We have all these casuals that talk like they know so much about boxing. They don't know nothing. They don't know a goddamn thing. They could sit here and talk all this shit and give you every fighter's record. They can tell you how many times this guy fought this guy in the Olympics and all that. Oh, I know this and this and this. Yeah, right. You're a jack of all trades, a master of fucking nothing. All of these people that sit up and want to shoot down the possibilities of fighters not fighting because he's a bitch, he's a punk ass faggot motherfucker, all this stupid shit. I was just, and I'm gonna just give this to y'all, and then I'm gonna end this video. Okay, I want to show you guys the difference between facts and opinions. Okay, and how facts is a word that we may as well just erase from our language, from our history. Period. Facts don't it doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, I was invited to do a live for some guys, and I was at a partner's house who has a channel, and it's not boxing. It's talking about a lot of different things, but these guys were talking about Bruce Lee, and they said Bruce Lee could beat anybody. Nobody could beat Bruce Lee. No boxer, no MMA, nobody. Bruce Lee was untouchable. He was so fast you couldn't hit him, and Bruce Lee didn't. And so I'm just sitting here like, it got to the point where they started insulting each other. I just told them up. I said, man, listen, I'm not interested in this shit. I don't do debates, and I'm not into arguing. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not gonna sit here and be raising my voice or having nobody raise their voice at me, because I'll, ask them where they are. I'll pull up on them and they'll, all right, come do this shit face to face so I can knock you the fuck out. How about that? So he's like, nah, and I told him, I said, man, listen, when I jumped on the live, I said, listen, let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all invite me to this bullshit. I said, I'm making this known. I could do it privately, but I'm gonna do it like this, okay? First off, let me just tell all y'all one thing. You're comparing a martial artist actor, okay? A martial artist and actor who didn't fight for a living. You comparing him, saying he would knock out Mike Tyson, he would knock out Muhammad Ali, he would beat this guy, that guy, they're too big and slow to catch him, and Bruce could do this and he could do that, and he was deceptively strong, he had superhuman hand speed and all this crazy shit. I said, listen, I'm gonna ask y'all one simple question. What was Bruce Lee's fight record? All of them got no, don't tell me what you heard. I don't give a fuck about legend says, oh, what such and such said, Jackie Chan said, Jim I don't give a shit about stories. What was his fight record? Everybody in the chat had a stupid look on their face, start laughing. Oh. I said, see, this is what I'm talking about. Anything I say about Mike Tyson, Ali, Ray Leonard, any of these guys, okay, is because I've seen them fight. I know what their records are. We can roll footage. You guys are comparing fucking demonstrations and stories. Okay? Demonstrations and stories to an actual fucking career. So you're going to disrespect these fighters and say that a guy who never fought for a living, okay, do we even know if Bruce Lee can take a punch? But it wouldn't matter because he was so based on. So tell me, what fight did you see him have? There's no fucking footage, fact, of Bruce Lee sparring anybody. You may see a video that clickbait your stupid asses to hit that button because, oh shit, Bruce Lee sparring. No, he's doing demonstrations. Let me give you all something that I saw, okay? Bruce Lee did a demonstration, and this is not about tearing Bruce Lee down. We all love Bruce Lee as for what he was, what he did. We know him as an actor. Okay? I've never seen Bruce Lee fight anybody. Bruce Lee did a demonstration. We had a guy stand straight up. Okay? Didn't have that angle where his back foot is where he can, if someone tries to push you, he's standing straight up, both toes facing. So he does this, And the guy flies back in the chair. Of course he could fly back in the chair. He had nothing, no balance. He's standing there with his toes facing Bruce, they're face to face. Of course. And Bruce Lee's sideways. So Bruce gets more leverage when he does. Now, this is just common sense, but they're, oh my God, look how, oh my. And it's like you're showing these fucking clips like this is a fucking fight. I don't care how fucking fast he can swing. No, I'm nice with my nunchucks too. What does that have to do with you being able to take a shot? If so, you telling me if Mike Tyson punched Bruce Lee in his fucking face, Bruce is just gonna eat that? Man, are you fucking retarded? So you think that? Now here's my thing. They say size doesn't matter. Okay, so you think that a 132-pound man is really gonna beat Mike Tyson? You think that his punches, his kicks, all of this stuff that you're saying is based on what? Who have you ever seen Bruce Lee knock out? Again, everything that we're judging Bruce Lee by, saying how much we like him and how, is from his movies. So even when you see him do these demonstrations, if I'm sitting here and I tell you a fighter is lacking something, right? And that fighter says, because I've done this all the time, and I do it now, right? I would do it now. And that fighter's lacking something. I shouldn't have to tell him, all right, throw a punch like, no, you do what you do. I'm going to correct you, right, by making you pay for the mistake you do. That's what you do. Not me telling you, all right, throw the punch like this, then I'm going to block, right? I'm going to demonstrate how I'm blocking it. No. Because, and you know, like when you watch movies, for example, didn't we always say, why the hell do you have a baseball bat, which is a long weapon, but the scene is designed that you run up on a guy with no weapon, with the bat way here, and get this fucking close to swing a bat? Who does that in real life? That's the purpose of you getting a lengthy weapon, so you don't have to get so close. And he runs so with the bat here, and of course they get caught with the shot and all that. It's movie acting. I cannot sit here and compare Bruce Lee to an actual professional fighter. Bruce Lee was no professional fighter. He was a martial artist and an actor. I'm not saying that Bruce couldn't fight. I'm saying I would believe he would be able to, handle himself in a fight with some guys, but all of this untouchable yada yada. See, the moral of the whole story, the whole point of what I'm getting at. We've never seen Bruce Lee fight, but you have millions of people around the world that will tell you Bruce Lee could beat everybody. Based on what? And that's the whole simple question. Based on what? Well, I heard, fuck what you heard. What can you show me? You don't think Mike Tyson was fast enough to hit on Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee did an interview, sat in the chair, and said, Ali would kill me in a fight. And he said he would have to resort to dirty tactics. This came out of Bruce Lee's mouth. I'm saying Bruce Lee was so wait, remember how they had that picture of Muhammad Ali looking down at Floyd Mayweather and Floyd so tiny looking up? So Floyd Mayweather's too small to beat Ali, but Bruce Lee's not. I'm just saying, right? But size doesn't matter. But what's the point of making the picture where you see him dwarfing over him? If size didn't matter, no, it doesn't matter with every situation, with every individual, no. But it does overall. If that's the case, well, that means football players would all be the same size. Basketball players would all be the same size. You wouldn't have to, you could be 7 feet and be a point guard, or you could be a point guard and be a center. If size doesn't matter. What am I saying? I'm telling you guys, we get a lot of trolls, we get a lot of stupid people who talk like they know so much. And all I'm doing is look at the logic of what you're saying. You're saying that the baddest man to ever fucking live and fight and all this shit, whatever, which I don't even believe no baddest man, nothing. But I don't fucking think nobody, I'm not afraid of anybody. I don't feel like nobody can fucking beat me. What fucking fighter do you know that sits up and go, oh, I'm good, but I couldn't beat that guy? So if I had to fight a motherfucker, I'm going to sit here telling myself, damn, man, I don't think I could beat him. Why the fuck would I fight you then? What's the purpose? I don't have fear of nobody. I've had guns pulled in my face. I've had guys try to jump me with. I have no fear of death. I don't fear no fucking man. I live out in the woods around a bunch of fucking bears and fucking coyotes and I don't do that fucking, oh, no. I don't fear nobody. That doesn't mean I can't be beat. Okay? Do I believe it? No. Am I aware that it could happen? Yes. It's all about preparation, right? It's a lot of shit, but shit can happen to anybody. So I commend Bruce Lee, anybody, for having heart, but I got the skills to back it up. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying, like I said, I believe Bruce probably can handle himself. Definitely. But what I'm saying, to compare him to a professional fighter and say, okay, so wait, motherfuckers get up every day and train their ass off and fight for a living. Somebody who practices martial arts. No full contact, hard sparring, no actual, we know. And that person somehow is just going to beat a professional fucking elite fighter on top of that. And I mean, I've heard people say he don't have to throw kicks. He could beat Sugar Ray Leonard with just his hands. He could beat Ali with just, okay, whatever. So here's what I'm saying to you guys, man. Without seeing Bruce Lee fight, people will tell you he's the baddest man ever. He killed Conor McGregor. He destroyed all these fucking guys that's fighting in the UFC. He's the godfather. And it's like, see, this is what you call idol worship. These people are detached from reality. And so what they're trying to do is get people to believe things the way they want them to. So when guys have channels, they use their platform to come and talk their opinion. That's all they're talking is their opinion. But it just amazed me how many people really actually believe this shit, man. I live out here and I've been hearing Bigfoot stories since I've been living out here. I've been out here over a fucking decade. I've never seen no fucking Bigfoot. But my neighbors have. How the fuck do you live right next door to me, right across the street from me, but you see Bigfoot all the time? So Bigfoot must be going, translation? Aries just got in his fucking car. He's leaving. Let's come out and scare the shit out of his neighbors. We'll show our faces in front of them, just not Aries. And they'll tell you Bigfoot can do this, what Bigfoot eat, what species Bigfoot is. There's several different species of Bigfoot, and when their fur is this color, it's because they come from the higher mountain. All of this shit, you've done there's no studies on these fucking creatures. All you have is these so-called creatures. All you have is, well, I've heard stories, and scientists say they found hair samples that don't belong to any. People fucking lie. What can I say? Now, if you believe in Bigfoot, more power to you. But the burden of proof is on you making the claim that he's real. The funny thing is, it's the same thing. Have you ever seen a Bigfoot? Well, no. Okay, well, shut the fuck up then. You're arguing a point of something that you don't even know. So, this whole thing is the same shit. They've never seen Bruce Lee fight any fucking body. But they're going to tell you he could destroy Mike Tyson. He could destroy, and actually, because it started with them saying that Mike Tyson had, an interview or something. I didn't watch the shit. And he was saying that he would beat Bruce Lee in a fight. I'm like, so what the fuck you think Mike is going to say? Yeah, that little 132-pound man that killed me, man. And I guess when Bruce did that shit in the movie, I guess people think that shit was real too. All this Super Saiyan power shit that people talk, I'm like, yeah, some people are whacked out. So look, people, when we get these trolls, like I said, I'll eliminate motherfuckers when they come on my channel with this nonsense. But I was invited to a live, and it was like, this is why, for me, I only want to deal with my community. And if I deal with another community, it has to be somebody I have respect that I say, okay, I like what that person is doing. Because I don't want to sit here and talk to a fucking airhead, man. Okay? Michael Jai White is not a professional fighter. He's a martial artist and actor. Jim Kelly wasn't a professional fighter. He was a martial artist and actor. Okay? Jackie Chan, these guys are not professional fighters. Stop with the fucking bullshit, man. Lying to yourselves about these guys could beat anybody because, there was a time when people was fight. You remember in movies, who the fuck is going to stand there and watch you do all of that? That's a baseball bat upside your fucking head. All this shit in the movies where they's catching fucking swords with your fingers, breaking the swords in half, and people really think that this shit is real. So, anyway, I gave y'all the mixed bag. We talked about Bruce and Ali and Tyson, and we talked about Anthony Joshua. So anyway, look, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.